Hi everyone, and welcome to our second Endo Warrior chat. I am so honoured to be hosting. My name's Jayne, and I'm a endometriosis sufferer for over 20 years. So I feel very grateful that we have this platform to be able to spread the word about this chronic disease, endometriosis. So this is a taboo subject. We don't like talking about our cycles, and it makes it even more difficult when there's very little research done around this topic. So when we're talking to specialists about our pain, it is quite difficult because you can't see pain. Now, I'd just like to welcome all of our brave warriors, endo warriors, on today. It's not an easy topic to talk about, but we all have such a passion to really get it out there into the world and share our stories. So they're going to be talking about their journey and how they've been able to take some more control over their pain and their lifestyle. So first of all, I'm just going to start with some research data that just so that everyone's got a little bit more of an idea of the severity of what people who suffer endo go through. So basically, like 1 in 10 people, women, actually suffer, believe it or not. So that's 176 million women worldwide. Okay, so this is not something to take lightly. It impacts teenage girls as well as women. Okay, so it affects their relationships, it affects them physically, it affects them mentally, and with their mental health. Okay, so it affects all different aspects in life, their work life, their school life. It affects them, you know, trying to concentrate while they're in pain. It affects them while they're trying to do their household duties, like doing the dishes, the vacuuming, putting clothes on the line, caring for your kids. It's even just like hard to exercise and even be social. It's hard for people to see and understand what we're going through because pain is a silent thing. You can't see it. So I just wanted to say also that it affects the teenagers, it affects the women, but it also affects the family and the carers, our husbands, our partners, and the community at large. So thank you. I'd like to introduce our first endo warrior, Casey, to have her little share today. Thank you.
Casey, are you there? Casey? Jayne, I don't think Casey's on.
Okay, if we might just jump over to Tracey, if Tracey's on. I know she's very keen to share.
Hey everyone, I'm Tracey. Thanks for having me on the call today. I'm really excited to share and on such an important topic. So I guess my journey started when I was 15. So I would have really bad periods all the way through high school and also through university. I'd have daily pain, nausea. I'd have to leave the classroom or my university lecturer and I'd be throwing up. So I found it quite hard to maintain my daily routine really. I was 19 at the time when my pain was so bad that I decided to go and see a gynecologist for the first time. And that was when I realized that you actually had to have surgery in order to diagnose endometriosis. So I ended up having my first surgery and it was quite bad. So they removed endometriosis from my left ovary, my bowel and my pelvis and diagnosed me with stage 4. So I was young and naive at the time and I thought the surgery would cure everything. But a year later, my pain was really bad. It was really hard to get up and go to work. I was working full time and it was just really frustrating. So I went back to the gynecologist and decided to have my second laparoscopy. So I ended up being a lot more aggressive than my first surgery. So they decided to put a Mirena in to slow the growth of endo. And I thought, again, this would help. But about 2 months later, the pain was so bad that, you know, I was throwing up just about every day. I found it really hard to go to work. So I went back to the gyno I was 22 at the time, and he suggested a hysterectomy. So for me, that was just crazy, you know. I've always wanted children, and I will one day. But yeah, I can't believe that he would just, you know, recommend that to somebody young and vulnerable. So I just lived with the pain. So I just smiled through it, went to work every day, took about 8 pain medications every day, which I know isn't good for your long-term health, but you kind of have to do what you have to do. So yeah, it was about 12 months ago that I came across the JBT program. After taking all the pain medication from the doctor, I was a little skeptical, but I thought, hey, I've got nothing to lose, so give it a go. About 1 to 2 months in, I started noticing that my pain was reducing, and that I wasn't feeling as nauseous every day, which was a really big change for me, the first time in about 12 years. And then about 3 to 6 months in, I started noticing that the pain was only during my cycle, so once a month. So that was another huge win for me. Yeah, so now I've been on the JBT program for over 12 months now, and I haven't had a sick day from work in 8 months. So it's really been life-changing for me. So I'm really thankful. Yeah, that's my story.
Thank you so much, Tracey. It's such a journey, hey, and a silent journey. It's something that we struggle to talk to people about because, yeah, we don't know that they're going to understand, or they don't understand what we're going through. So thank you so much. Is Chloe on?
Yes.
Thanks, Chloe.
Hi, everyone. So yes, I'm Chloe. My journey with Endo started when I was about 17. I got my period, and about 6 months to a year in, I was at an after-school activity because I loved my music and production. So I was doing something I loved, and I got this crazy pain in my side and down on my lower abdomen, and it got to the point really quickly where I was doubled over in pain, and I was so confused. I was like, what's going on? And as a 17-year-old, I didn't know what could be happening. So I went home and I told my parents, and they took me to the doctors, as you would, and not much sort of happened for a while, and my pain started getting worse and worse and then I got into a gynecologist, and they said that it could be endo, and that it needed to be diagnosed with surgery. And at the time, they wouldn't allow me to have surgery because they said I was too young. And so they put me on the pill, and I spent the next couple of years jumping from pill to pill, trying out different ones, and until I could find one that was going to work for me. Then the problem I had, though, was that no pill was improving anything. I tried about 5 or 6 different pills over the space of probably 2 to 3 years, and nothing was working for me, and I was getting more and more frustrated and more in pain, had more and more pain coming up, and then so it kind of got to a point where it was really affecting my life. Like, I think in year 12 I ended up with like a 43% attendance rate, and the only way that I passed was because I was I had the marks, because they sure as hell wasn't gonna pass me on my attendance rate if my marks weren't there. And then as I started working and traveling, this became a real burden in my life, dealing with this pain once a month, and as it got better and worse, because it kind of fluctuated, the pain from month to month, I would experience like ovulation pain too. So I'm getting fed up with the doctors at this point. I've had ultrasounds, I've gone from pills to pills, and it seemed to be getting worse and worse. So it got to the point where about 18 months ago, I had to go to the hospital about 4 times over the space of a few months, and I was just in crippling pain. I had aches and nervy pain down my back and my legs. My abdomen wouldn't stop cramping for my whole period. I was getting ovulation pain. I was feeling nauseous. I was feeling faint. I couldn't get out of bed. I was worried where my life would go, because being so young, I felt like I was never going to be able to have the career that I wanted to. I had to cancel on my friends and family all the time. I just felt my body was failing me, and it was so frustrating every single month. And it would the pain would go away and then would come back again. And that's when I decided to, about 2 years ago, I decided to get off the pill because it wasn't helping, and I was having incredible mood swings, and I was feeling sick being on it, and I experienced some real challenges with my mental health as well. And I decided to go off the pill because it wasn't helping. I was getting all these symptoms, but I also found out that the pill is actually a band-aid fix. So it's can help with pain for a little while, but for your long-term health, it is really toxic to your body, and it really disrupts your hormones and the balance of your hormones in your body. So I made the decision to go off, and it was a really rough ride getting off the pill and trying to start moving towards managing the pain with a healthy lifestyle. And I was really struggling. I ended up in hospital 4 times. And then about a year ago, I discovered the JBT program, and I was desperate at this point. I was suffering in silence because I didn't think that I was worried that people would think I was weak or that I was making things up. The doctors really didn't believe me and didn't want to give me any more suggestions besides the pill, and they thought I was crazy for jumping off it. And so this is how I felt. This is what I thought everyone else would view me as well, just weak, less of a human, because I was experiencing all this pain, and there was nothing I could do about it. Well, it felt like there was nothing I could do about it. So when I started the JBT program, I think I got about 3 months in where I really started to feel some shifts. My pain started getting going over less days, so it was only when I got my period that I was really having trouble. And then gradually, the more I worked on my health in a natural way and through the JBT program, about 6 months in, I was my period surprised me, which it hadn't for probably since I first got it when I was 17. And I was so happy because that period I only experienced some light cramping and none of the other symptoms. I was able to go out. I stopped having to cancel on my friends and family. I got hope again with my career and where life is going to take me. Freedom to travel again without having to worry about is my period going to be bad, or am I going to be in pain or in a situation where I can't do something or get really stuck because I'm in so much pain. So the JBT program and healing myself in a holistic, natural way has been like a game changer for me. And I'm here to show people that give people who are suffering hope that they can improve their situation that they're in, because I know there's definitely been times where I have been in bed in pain and lost all hope and wanted to die because the pain was so bad. So I just want to spread the message that there is hope out there, and that you can heal yourself and you can learn how to manage the pain. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Chloe. You explained it so well. I can totally relate to the process that you've been through. I haven't been able to verbalize it as good as you, so well done. Well done. So Rebecca, your turn, honey. Another endo warrior.
Hi, thanks, Jayne. Yes, so my name's Beck. I, like most women, suffered through my teen years with my period and the symptoms that came with it. At times it was often quite debilitating. I would spend 2 days in bed, so I was off work or school to start with, and then work. So 1 or 2 days off of work or school every month. I would be in that much pain that I would be vomiting, heavy bleeding, just, beyond anything that I could imagine. And the doctors always told me it was just my body adjusting to puberty and becoming a woman, which I guess I just believed at the time. And so it wasn't until my late teens when I saw a different doctor and got referred off to a gynecologist, and we went through the processes of diagnosing my endometriosis, and I had a laparoscopy. The endometriosis had fused my bowel to my uterus, which had caused additional problems with obviously IBS and other bowel-related problems, which wasn't great. And the endo had also encased the ligaments that hold my ovaries, that support the ovaries, so I had a lot of ovarian pain, and had encased my fallopian tubes as well. So after the laparoscopy, they were able to remove it and separate everything out and put it all back where it was supposed to go. But the doctors did warn me that I would potentially never be able to have a child. Fertility was not the issue. It was the carrying of a child because of the damage, and they didn't know how my uterus would cope. I was lucky enough 7 years ago to have a child. My pregnancy was pretty rough, and when he was born, he was sick and I was sick, and he was taken into NICU, and he was in hospital for a little while. And after I had my son, my endometriosis got worse. So I would bleed through a pad and a tampon in an hour. The pain was worse. The bleeding, my bleeding would go for 7 to 11 days. And it was so draining on my body, and with a newborn child and my body just being so utterly depleted, it was just so hard, and it was, it took a lot out of me. So I went back to see my gynecologist. I was really lucky that I had one of the top endo specialists here in SA, so that was really good for me. The decision was made to pop a Mirena in. Having another surgery with a small child was just not going to happen for me at that time. So we put the Mirena in. I did get some relief for a short amount of time. It definitely slowed the bleeding down and those kinds of things, which was really good. But after sort of a year or two, it just wasn't improving. So then they added in the pill as well. So I had the Mirena in, delivering hormones directly into my uterus, and then I was taking the oral contraceptive pill. So my body was just out of whack. With all those hormones going around my body. I would often take Nurofen Plus every 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. I couldn't even get to 4 hours. The pain was so bad, and I would take the pain relief for sort of 2 to 5 days, really, depending on how my body was cycling. I was also put onto Endo to control my pelvic pain because I had such bad pelvic pain virtually all the time. I needed something to help to control the pain just on a regular basis. And then every month I would take Nurofen Plus, and I felt like a pharmacy. It was quite horrible, really. So last year when this program came into my life, I was contemplating another laparoscopy. My son obviously is older now, so it was a bit more manageable. But when I came across this, I thought, I'll give this a shot. I suppose I reached a point where I was like, what have I got to lose? Within the first, I suppose, about 6 months, I noticed my pain had subsided considerably. I was taking a lot less pain relief. And for me, the only thing I'd noticed or the only thing I'd changed was that I'd added in this program and these products, because everything else that I was doing was exactly the same. I was still exercising regularly. I was still eating really well. As a personal trainer, it's been a very big part of my life for the last 11 years. So the only thing I really did change was that I started to take these products, and I jumped on the JBT program. So the first thing I noticed was the reduction in my pain, which meant I didn't have to take as much pain relief. And so then earlier this year, I was so grateful that I was actually able to remove the oral contraceptive pill. I no longer take Endo. I haven't taken Nurofen Plus for my period for probably since about March. And I can't even remember if that's even right. I still have a Mirena in, but now that's more for contraceptive purposes rather than to control my endo. My cycle now, my bleeding is so light. Like, I often forget I've even got my period. I kind of feel like what I feel like a normal woman would have when she has her period. So no pain relief. No heavy bleeding, don't feel up and down. I don't need to be in bed, and it's just been amazing. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about the program and the products that these ladies who have shared their stories have actually been taking. So we align with a company called Juice Plus. Juice Plus has been in Australia for over 20 years, and it's been around for over 30 years. So it's a long-standing product. The products themselves, we have only 3, which is really cool. We don't have stacks of different ones. We have 3 main products. So our core products that we have are our fruit, veg, and berry capsules. Oh, better turn them around the right way. We have our fruit, veg, and berry capsules. Now, these capsules look a little bit like a multivitamin, I suppose, but it couldn't be further from the truth. They are not synthetic. They are completely whole foods. So the fruit, veg, and berry is grown on specialist farms, 5th generation farmers who have specific farms just for the products. They're GMO free. The products are all vine ripened and picked at the peak of ripeness. Now, if we look at that just quickly, our fruit and veggies that we buy from the supermarket are not picked when they're ripe, they're picked when they're green. They're force ripened, which means they have a whole bunch of chemicals sort of pumped in onto them. They're cold storage, and then they're delivered to the supermarket where we buy them potentially 4 to 6 months after they were picked. So the key nutrients of the product and the fruit and the veggies isn't there because it wasn't allowed to ripen naturally. It was picked before it was ripe, and then it was delivered to the supermarket. And that's what's really great about the Juice Plus product, is because it's vine ripened and it's picked at the peak of ripeness, all of those living enzymes and phytonutrients are sustainable and maintained in the product. So then what they do is, once they've picked everything, they kind of like blend it up. So the seeds, the stalks, the skin, the whole lot, everything, all the good stuff is all kept together. It's kind of blended up into like a big slushy kind of thing. And then what they do is they cold press it. So it's slow dried in cool temperatures. And the reason they do this is it maintains that stability of the phytonutrients and those living enzymes to ensure that it's at its best when it is packaged up. So during the drying process, it removes all of the water and the sugar so that you know that what you're getting is just the really good stuff. Then what they do is they pop it into a completely vegan capsule and then pop it in into the bottles. All of the batches of Juice Plus are tested, and they're tested 5 different times to ensure their stability and their quality and freshness. What you do notice about these is that they are actually a food label. So they're a food category. They're not a supplement. We actually have a food label on the product, which is really good because there's nothing in there that hasn't come from Mother Nature. So these flood your body from a cellular level, and they really help to support your body and meet your body nutritionally where it is, and it's designed to bridge the gap between the food that we eat and what our body needs, especially because nowadays things are manufactured in a different way. We do need to ensure that we're, you know, really supporting our body and flooding it with all of the nutrition that we need. And then one of our other products, and this is quite new for Juice Plus, this is our vegan omega blend. So this was released in Australia last year. So it's been around in Australia for just over 12 months. It was 2 years in the making. And the really great thing about this is it's a blend of omegas. So when you buy omegas from the shops, you tend to buy omega-3 fatty acids, and they are generally fish oils. This particular product, which is amazing, contains omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So we're getting a blend across all of the different omegas. Our bodies don't naturally produce omegas, so we need to consume them so that we can support our body from that level. The same as fish don't produce omegas either. So they eat it from a plant source. And so basically what we've done is we've gone straight to the plant source. With the omegas, omega-5, which is from the pomegranate seed, has been shown to reduce inflammation from the body, and in particular, you know, helping with the endometriosis and the inflammation associated with that. So the omega oil is also cold sealed. So it's only vegan omega in the world that is cold sealed. And the important thing about that is when you heat an oil, it can turn rancid. And so you don't want to be having a rancid product popped into your body. You want a nice, fresh, clean product going into your body. So that's a really amazing thing about the omegas. Now, for small and big kids alike, we have our chewable form of the fruit and veggies. So they are these delicious little soft gummies. They taste like lollies, but they are definitely not lollies. They are just fruits and veggies. What for me was really amazing about Juice Plus and what I really love about the company is that they run the largest health study in the world, and our program is called Healthy Starts. And so for every adult with a order, they can sponsor a child for up to 4 years to receive their products completely for free. Now, that's the company making a $5,000 investment into the nutrition and getting these kids off to a really great, strong start by flooding their little bodies while they're developing with all of the great nutrition that they need. And my little boy loves his Juice Plus. He jumps out into the pantry every day. Oh, here he comes. And grabs his Juice Plus because he loves his Juice Plus. And
I forgot to have them.
Mum life. So, you know, it's such a great way. And what they've noticed through the study is that kids are having less days off of school. They're more focused when they're at school. Their attention spans more improved and all of those things, which is amazing. And he's back again.
Can you open it, please?
So he's like my little like sidekick. So those are the products that really help support our body from a micronutritional level. So flooding our cells from the inside and really helping our bodies live and function at their peak. And then these, yes, they can see. Thank you, darling. And then we have our macronutritional. All right. Sorry, guys. We have our macronutritional products. So these are our complete powders. Now, the thing about these is they are complete powders. So they're not like a standard protein powder. They are a full complete powder. So they tick all the boxes. So protein, carbs, fats, and fibers, which is amazing. Now, what they have found is that plant proteins are more readily digested by the body as opposed to animal proteins. And so these are really great. And they have various different ingredients in them that can help, you know, really support your body for different things. So there's things in here like alfalfa sprout, yucca powder, spirulina, mushroom powder, and all those kinds of things. And if you guys have ever looked up yucca powder, it's so good for you, but I don't think I would actually just eat it. So it has anti-inflammatory properties, mood-boosting properties. They're really great because you can grab them and go. I love my chocolate one and my oats in the morning, and I know that I'm getting I'm getting the start that I need to the day. They are so delicious. They're the best tasting protein powder I've had. And coming from the fitness industry, I've had a lot. So these are amazing. So they're our products. And what we did was we noticed that as people started with the products, they really, really wanted to take their nutrition to the next level. And they wanted something that was simple and easy to do. And that's how the JBT program came about. Now, the JBT program is a full wellness program. It's hosted completely online through Facebook, because we all know everyone has Facebook these days. It covers off everything that you could possibly need to live a really nice, healthy lifestyle and live well. So it's got over 300 recipes, meal plans, exercise plans and videos, wellness and mindset guides, because we know that in order to get our bodies really working well, we need to work on what's going on in our mind as well as our body. We have a community online. We have nearly 30,000 people in our community now, which is amazing, because it's a group of people who are there to support you going through everything that you're going through. And so the program comes completely free with our products. And, you know, it's been so amazing. It's whole foods, just the way it's supposed to be. And a lot of the recipes are kid approved. As you can see, this guy here, he's my little advocate for what we do. So that's a little bit about myself and our products. And I'm going to pass it over to Jayne.
Hey, thank you. Wow, that was a big share. I really appreciate that, Beck. What a journey, hey? So for people who are already on the products, I'd love for you to just write in the chat about like different things that health improvements that you've received while I'm telling my story. So I have been a sufferer for over 20 years. I've been out of school for over 20 years. But yeah, it was, you know, like days in the sick bay, days off school. Just like when I first started getting my periods, it was really irregular. One moment I'd bleed and then there was nothing. And then all of a sudden this big pain came through. And that's when, like the heavy bleeding started. So I kind of suffered throughout that, went on a few pills, played with my mood, so I had to get off them. And in my 20s, that's when it really, really came on for me. So I was actually trying to lose weight at the time, and I was doing like a high-fat, low-carb diet. And what happened was, yes, I lost a lot of weight, but my pain just came on tenfold. And that was about over a year of doing this diet. So like I was just having pain the whole time through, and it was chronic. It was in my front and my back. And I was working at the time. I had a desk job, so I'd have a hot water bottle on my tummy and on my back, and just trying to do my job. But it got to the stage that it was too severe that I got wheelchaired out of my job, and I couldn't go back. So I spent 5 years trying to heal myself. Mama zombie, I totally get that. So I spent 5 years trying to heal myself. I did have 2 laparoscopies, and I really struggled with the recovery for some reason. At that time, it really impacted on my back. So my endo specialist could not do anything else for me, and he said that I would not be able to carry children in my 20s due to the damage that was done on my uterus. So then he referred me to a back specialist, and the back specialist did all my testing, and he said that my L4 and L5 were degenerating so badly that my back was like a 70-year-old. Before that, I never had back problems. So now I know, I've only just come across research that endo and back pain and back issues is a thing. Back then I didn't know that. So I ended up in a pain clinic for 6 months, and that was more around to learn how to deal with my pain. So it was a mind, body, soul thing. There was a psychologist, a physio, and occupational therapist working with me for 6 months, learning how to move, how to do everything, because I couldn't walk. It was that bad. So anyway, I've learned how to kind of control the pain, knowing that foods, what I put into my body was a big trigger. So I've learned what foods are inflammation foods, which causes pain and causes dis-ease in the body, and what foods are good for me. So it's the foods that nature intended for your body to be eating, like fruits and veggies and berries and some meat, but not all meats. Some meats actually do cause a lot of pain. And also trying to keep your mind at ease as well. So in my 30s and 40s, I did have a full-time job for 10 years, but always still having to have my heavy pain relief and having days off work. So I'd be kind of down and out for about 4 days. If it's not my head, really fuzzy, don't talk to me, I can't answer, don't ask me a question, I've got no idea what you're telling me, to I need to be in bed and curled up and stay in my cave for 4 days. So what's happened is that about 2 years ago, I came across these products, and it's just been an absolute lifesaver. I started the products, and it's called an 8-week shred at the same time, because I really wanted to, I needed to shift my headspace on being like so anxiety, getting depressed and not coping with life, trying to be a mum and study, working full-time and all of that kind of stuff. So I started an 8-week shred that's in the program, and I started the products at the same time. Now, what I actually found in that first month is that I had no pain. For the first time in my life of having my periods, I had absolutely no pain. And it's the first time in my life that I ever had like scarlet red blood, which is, I know it's a bit gory, but for someone who has endo, you know, we get a different type of colour blood, which is gross. So I actually felt like a woman, which is so cool. And so I've been on the products, and I follow the program. I use the recipes. I don't feel deprived from being able to use different, like over 300 different recipes. So I just find it very, very easy for me now that I can control what I eat. I can control my mind. I am not in any pain. So the fog's lifted off my head. I feel a lot clearer. I feel like I'm a better mum. I'm a way better wife. I can do all the household stuff. I can study. I can do everything that I need to be doing. So that's my story, and thank you so much. I just want to thank everybody for coming on and supporting us all. This is not an easy topic at all to talk about, and it's quite new to us because we've been in the shadows for so long. So we're now speaking out, and you know, like if we can help, you know, at least one person to get control of their pain, we know that we're doing the right thing. So we know it works for us. All it is full nutrition, up to 30 fruits, veggies and berries, flooding your bloodstream every day. Okay, it flows through the parts of your body that are less deficient or are deficient, and it helps decrease the inflammation. Okay, so it's a no-brainer. It just makes sense. If you have questions like I did, I was skeptical. I was completely skeptical. But if you have questions, reach out to the person that has invited you, because you know what? They actually care. They actually want to help you. Okay, and we know that this works. So thank you so much for coming on, and have a lovely rest of the day.